Hey, coaches, welcome back to Football Talk with Coach Chip. I want to thank all y'all for heading over to the podcast and checking it out. It's available on Spotify and Apple. I've been told that it's also available on other podcatchers because once those two pick it up, somehow the others communicate with it. I don't get it, but it's okay. It's one of those algorithm things, I reckon. Hey, we're going to be talking about run screens from 12 personnel, or is it 21 personnel? Is it one back, two tight ends when you have a tight end and a wing back, or a tight end and an H? Or is it two backs, one tight end, and you're counting the H as a back? Which is it? Inquiring minds want to know. We won't answer that question today, but I will show you some run screens off of run action. I had a recent conversation with a coach who asked for some resources on that, and I already had them on the computer, so I sent him a few of them. And I said, hey, man, that'll make a great podcast episode. YouTube episode. I got podcast on the brain. And so I put it together to make it into a YouTube video for Football Talk with Coach Chip. Hey, I got an opportunity here. We're going to keep Football Talk with Coach Chip, the YouTube and the podcast, free of charge. But I recently did a podcast with Mike D, the referee, up on the Jersey Shore. And I was disappointed he doesn't talk like those people from that show. But he talks normal. But he does this, and so I looked into it, and it doesn't cost anything to me. So it's called buymeacoffee.com. You head over there and / Coach Chip. Don't / Coach Chip, but backward / Coach Chip. And you can buy me a coffee. I don't drink coffee, but I'll drink something. And it's just cool. The channel and the podcast are going to remain free, but there's a chance to show support. Here's a chance. You can show support for all the videos, over 200 of them out there now, and the resources that Football Talk with Coach Chip provides. So go over to buymeacoffee.com / Coach Chip and buy me a coffee. Yeah. You can find the podcast on Spotify and Apple now. Got it up there. And by the way, if you have an idea for a video, like this coach, he wasn't meaning to give me an idea, but he did. I get a lot of ideas from guys that just write and ask me questions at siegel.chip@gmail.com. And I use them. That's one of the ways I create content. Hit me up at siegel.chip@gmail.com. Good chance to use your suggestion, unless it's totally off the wall. Hey, summer freebie time. Still got that practice schedule that's available. All you got to do is ask for it. Available to subscribers of the channel. It has an in-season 3-day work week. So if you have a 3-day practice schedule, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like high schools do, it goes in perfect. It is in a Excel spreadsheet, so you can take it and use it on your computer and plug into the cells whatever it is you want to do. It also has sample install plans, and you can do that as well as how we did things for so many years, and we were winning a ton of those games. Don't forget our resources. The offensive line manual still going strong. It's for gap down backer blocking. Hit me up if you'd like a copy of that, or the Big Book of Bucks. Recently, I had somebody came in and wanted all the resources, including the playbook. Don't forget, I'm now doing in-person or Zoom clinics, consultations, installs. I recently did one with a coach out west, and I'm helping him tweak his offense and enhance his playbook, if you will. So if you want to dive deeper into any of the concepts or want help installing them, hit me up. There it is, siegel.chip@gmail.com. Stay tuned to the very end of the video. I've got a special announcement coming up. Stay tuned. You got to be there. All right, let's get started. Let's talk about some of the things you can do off a run scheme. All right, now these are all done from Buck. And I say this just because that's the way I had them drawn up in the playbook that I keep stored on the computer. But I also have them drawn up as power. Now, the only thing I would say about this is because these screens are backside screens. They're RSOs, run screen options. You can do them as pre-snap access throws. You can post snap, like in this case right here, they're post snapping the wheel. So if the wheel is chasing the pulling guard, the quarterback can disconnect and throw it out here to number one, who's running kind of a tunnel screen, a few steps up, come on back, meet the ball right here. And you got your number two kicking the corner. You make a call. We called it a TED call, tackle, eat, dog, because we called outside linebackers dogs. It doesn't mean you have to run it. You can pre-snap it and say it's not there, we don't like it. Or you can post-snap it and make it into a true run screen option. And the TED call, what the tackle will do is bang the end so he doesn't have a free release to get in your quarterback's face. And then he comes out here. Now, if the guy is wide, he'll just kick him and the receiver catch the ball and come inside that block. And if the guy's kind of apexed, just get out there and get in his business and get busy with him. Trust me, it works. And you probably have seen the film of us doing something similar to this with the kid getting out there, but just getting tied up with him. It's kind of hard to make a tackle when you got somebody pestering you. But notice everybody else is blocking buck. It'll be the same thing. You could run power. Okay, but it's got to have the quarterback needs a view of the backside. I love it to the left because what are most quarterbacks right-handed, and they throw out there that way much better to the left side when they're right-handed. Here's another one off the jet. And again, we made the TED call. You can do it without the TED call, especially with the jet. If you want to make it a pre-snap deal where the quarterback pre-snap reads the backside backer. If the backside outside backer bumps down here or bumps inside or bumps back like a 4-2-5 team or bumps back right here, so this guy can help on the jet, you don't need the dog. You can take him out there just to have an extra guy looking back inside. But this is the kind of thing, press box call, coach in the box sees it. They're really chasing the jet. They're getting after it. And this guy right here is paying no attention to the backside flat. Got your running back set to the back of the jet. And on the snap, he comes out just like this, and he's going to get that guy. And then you run that little screen right here. Don't worry about the fake. The jet will handle the fake, a proximity fake as I call it, flash fake if you will. I wouldn't even put the ball out, have the quarterback catch it, shuffle, step back and throw the football. It gives him time to go up 3 and come back right here to the gate, as I call this place right here where the ball is caught. And he's going to turn up right through here. It's a great play. We had a lot of success with that back in the day. And again, you can do it with the TED call, tackle, eat, dog, or you can do it without it. But I love the fact of doing it right here with the running back. If you like your chances, you can just block it normal, have your running back over here to block on the jet, to help out over here on the play side. Don't even make a TED call. They're bumping in like crazy. You like this guy one-on-one with the corner, that's great. All right, here's a jet right with another TED call. And notice on this one, we're throwing it to the running back. Again, the running back set on the back side of the jet. On the snap, he takes off flat to the line of scrimmage, looking back over his inside shoulder. Quarterback's going to shuffle, take one step, throw it. Or you can just flash fake it, catch it, and throw the cockeyed thing right now, especially if this guy's bumping in here. If he's bumping in here, he's probably coming hard off the edge. Just catch it and throw it out there quick as you can throw it like a now pass. Grip it and rip it. You don't even need a TED call. And right now, you're 2-on-1 out here. You got a blocker and you got the guy with the ball. All right, buck right with a smoke call. We did this a ton. This is real good. If they're not going to respect out here, they're going to apex. That means, you say, well, why do you need to do that? You know, you got the numbers over here. Remember, it's power, or you can do it off counter, or you do it off buck. I just drew it up off buck. You're protecting your counter is what you're doing, coaches. And those of you who are long-time listeners have heard me say it before. If you're going to let this dude right here disrespect the 2 wide receiver side, this shall not stand, coaches. You cannot, in the words of the big Lebowski, this shall not stand. This disrespect, you've got to make this guy respect this 2 receiver side, or he is going to play in here, apex this, fold inside, and make the play on your counters because he's unaccounted for. It's called basic math. Okay, you got a down block on the counter. You got a down block on the counter. You got a back block. Pull kick, pull wrap, or H, pull wrap. Who's getting him? If you don't make his butt play out here, you've got to be willing to throw that ball out there, or your run game better be off the dadgum chain. That's why you do it. And then there's the good old standby, the bubble. I was talking to a guy the other day. He still loves throwing that. You know, it was all the rage 10 years ago or so. 10 years ago when we started doing it back in 14. You don't see it as much as you used to. And I don't know that it's because defenses have figured out how to play it. I don't think it is. I mean, they figured out how to play it, but then some of them are still going to do this and defy you to throw it out here. This is the same thing. You're protecting your counter. That's why you do it. Some coaches have asked me, why do you do that? Well, because, I mean, there's a practical reason. We don't do it to look cool. I don't do it because I want to look like the guys on Saturday. You've got to be willing to do stuff like this. You know, in the old days, what did we do to make them to respect plays? We'd run boot, but you're always guessing. As an offensive play caller, you're one play behind if you're reacting to the defense. Doing it in play or right before the play, either pre-snap or post-snap read, you're being proactive. Now you're ahead of the DC. You may not be a play ahead, but you're a count ahead because you're doing it right before the count or you're doing it during the play right after the snap. And that way they can't do this. Like, for instance, let's say a kid screws up on the backside, old school football, you give it on the buck, carry out the bootleg fake. Well, your guys saw him chasing the buck. And so you say, hey, we need to come back and run that boot. Okay. Guess who else saw it? The other team's defensive coaches. So they told the kid, stay at home. So next time you run it, the kid stays at home, hits your quarterback in the mouth. You got a loss of yardage, which is worse than a penalty because you don't get the down over. But doing it this way, you are ahead of the game. Here's the special announcement. The Jet Manual. Been working on it since 2020, not nonstop. I started working on it during the pandemic when I first started doing the YouTube channel, started doing the videos, over 200 videos ago. The reason why, if you go back and look, the first few episodes were all about the Jet. And I said, I'm going to write a Jet book, you know, a Jet playbook, a Jet manual, whatever you want to call it. And I started on it. And it was even on another computer. And then I started doing other things. And of course, the pandemic lifted down here in the South. It lifted a little quicker, the lockdown, and started back coaching and got back busy again and just forgot about it. And then I started working on it again and on an off season. And a while back, I was talking to some people and they said, do you have any resources on the Jet? I said, yeah. So I went and looked and I didn't have anything really ready, but I had this still on my Google Drive from way back in 2020. And you could see I'd worked on it off and on over the 4 years. And so, you know, I retired. I said, now that I got the time, I'm going to finish the cockeyed thing. It is not completed, but it's pretty dadgum close. I'm about to release it in the next few days, if not the next week. I'm going to be going on a little vacation next week, and I want to get it done by then and get it out there. So here's what we're going to do. Remember, all of my books, I use the term loosely, are done on Google Slide. That way, all you got to do is email me and say, hey, I want this book. And I will send it to you as an attachment. Now, the way we've always handled it and continue to handle it this way, I send it right to you. Tell me how you can pay me in the email that it's attached to. You look at it, you like it, you pay me. You don't like it, delete the cockeyed thing, keep listening to the channel. All right, but here's the special to go along with the special announcement of the Jet Manual being released. Right before football season starts, if you run the Jet, you want to run it better, get some different ideas, things you can do off of it, learn the Jet drill. I get more in depth than I did on the videos about the Jet drill. Break it down player by player, how we blocked it, different ways to block it, multiple ways to block it, Jet passes, Jet counter, all kind of things, Jet power, all kind of things off Jet action. This is for you, and it's right here as football starting, getting ready to start at the end of July, 1st of August with practice. And if you've thought about running Jet and you say, I'm not sure, this is for you. All right, before the release of it, though, before the official public release, I will send a free copy of the Jet Manual to the first 5 coaches. Now, as I release this, as I record this video, it is July 22nd of 2024. So if you're listening to this 20 years in the future, I'm probably, if I'm still on this earth, I'm in the old coach's home and I can't do it anymore. But I promise you, I've already had 5 coaches already shared the Football Talk with Coach Chip channel on their socials. That's what all the cool kids are calling your social media account, your socials. That's what I get for hanging out with young people. I learned that stuff. So all you got to send me a screenshot of where you shared it. Just a screenshot of you sending it out on your Twitter X, on your Facebook, on Reddit, or whatever it is you use. And I will send you nearly 140 pages. And, I got a little bit on the intro and a little bit on the outro at the end that don't deal directly. And by the way, it is full of diagrams, Hang on a minute. I'll show it to you. And through the magic of modern technology, that minute turned into a second. There it is, the Jet Manual from Football Talk with Coach Chip. I got a little under center action in there, got a little gun action in there, different ways to run the jet. I have a nice little explanation of what we do. This may not be the way you run it. It may not be the way you block it. We do not block it like wide zone, stretch. It is its own play, and that goes against a lot of things that I say. And I would always put in a sweep to other players like the running back and the quarterback just so I could use jet blocking on other things. But because it opens up so many other things, and we talk about explanations of it, what the D-line techniques are. So as you're reading it, if you're not a football person per se, or if you're just coaching your nephew's team or your girlfriend's son's team this year, and you love football, but you don't know it the way an old coach would know it, I explain that stuff. I do not want to talk above anybody's head. I know there's lawyers out there that are much smarter than me, but they would feel out of place at a football clinic with us sitting around talking just the way I would feel out of place at a deposition when they start throwing around all that Latin. Talk about what the gaps are, ABC, and all that kind of stuff. Explain how we say things, what we say. Why Ferris State, one of the better jet teams in Division II. I found a great article on X&O Labs. By the way, I subscribe to that. That's a great resource, coaches. How we build the running game around the jet sweep. Back to my original point. Why do we run jet sweep? By the way, look, there's videos in there. You can right, boom, and it shows you videos of what I just showed you in the diagram or what I was just writing about in the diagram. All of that's in there. It is a great resource for any team that wants to run the jet. We talk about our offense, how the things that we did off of jet. And that's why I'm willing to go against what I preach all the time about multiple ways to run plays, but keeping the blocking consistent, like running a bunch of plays with buck blocking, running God knows how many plays off power and counter blocking. And there's several, but in jet, there's not much you can do the way we block jet off the jet, but it opens up so many other things. And that's the reason why. Okay. And we just, over the years, we had so much success with it at so many different locations, been running the jet since 1992. I was coaching in Goshen, Alabama, when a buddy of mine from the Florida Panhandle told me about this cool play that he had seen by his old high school coach that they called speed sweep. And that started my love affair with the jet. And we were an I formation team, and I figured out a way to run jet by offsetting the fullback. Talk about how we signal things in. It gets into stuff that outside of jet, like the overall formation scheme, how we can get into jet formations. All of this stuff is available to you, and you'll get it free if you're one of the first 5 coaches to show me that you shared Football Talk with Coach Chip on your social media. So that's all you have to do, guys. You get a free copy of the newest resource from Football Talk with Coach Chip, the Jet Manual, nearly 140 pages of jet resources, all yours, just by sharing the channel. Be one of the first 5, and you better do it quick. And I know it's not fair to the guys that watch this video first, but hey, that's a reward for the guys that click on the bell. Which brings me to my next point. Share the Cockeyed channel, subscribe to the Cockeyed channel, and like the Cockeyed video. You got it? All right, don't forget, I'm helping if you want a deep dive. Contact me. Do it in person if you're not too far away. Zoom clinics, consultations, installs, all available to you. We still got the offensive line manual that'll be there forever as long as I'm on this globe. And the big book of bucks, the playbook, and all the other freebies. Don't forget the freebie about the football practice schedule, the file. You get it, make it your own. That's free. All you got to do is be a subscriber to the channel. Hey, until next time, coaches, be elite.